much regard for the opportunities that we have together to attend proposal seminar from Cindy Rahali entitled The Effectiveness of Project-Based Learning using Blog in Enhancing Student Speaking Skills for grade students of SMA Negeri Model Terpadu Madang. The supervisor is Professor Kondermano PhD and Abdul Kamaludin MPD and PhD. And the reviews today will be Dr. Andreas Hadri and Dr. Malcolm MD PhD and Professor Dr. Amina SPD and MD. Before we open the seminar, you see, are you ready to present any part of your proposal? Good. In the name of the Almighty God, I declare this proposal seminar open officially. Now, I invite you to present the main part of your proposal. Time is yours, please.
Friend with related study or previous study that have been done, and then you come also to see it. So not comparing previous one, not comparing related one, but you try to state your planning here so that make it. So once we read, oh, this is make it different. Whether there be a research design or what is it make it different, and then that's for later become the the novelty of yours. Okay? Okay. Yeah, you are going to see how PGBL through blog improving speaking skill. So that's why you try to review some recently review literature, some literature that really related how teaching speaking by using blog. Yes, so maybe you may try to add some. Oh yeah, you have here teaching speaking through project based learning, and then maybe because your focus actually blog, yeah. Yeah, blog. Blog is a kind of in the form of video, right? Video, not writing, but video. So in this implementation later, the project you try to ask the students making a project like a video and then talking, right? Speaking. So with a topic. Is that correct? Okay. So, okay, look at your method. Chapter 3. So, have a look the way you are writing. It seems that some of your...
And now let's move on to Mahasiswa PhD. Time is yours, Ma'am.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Kondia, for the opportunity. And good afternoon, everyone. First of all, congratulations, Ms. Cindy, for having completed the final draft of your research proposal. And we are very proud of your work. Anyway, I think your research project is interesting. It contains novelty. You incorporated digital content. Nowadays it's called digital era. And then the use of social media platforms, the use of video vlogs, video TikTok are very popular recently. In the past, they used blog. I used to be a blogger as well. I've got a blog, so personal website. And recently, over the last few years, let's say 3 years, the blogger, they changed their profession and move on to the blogger, to become blogger, yeah, by blogging. Do you have social media account? Instagram, do you have? TikTok? YouTube channel? Yeah. You must have all the accounts and channel, because the vlog, the vlogger upload their video. Well, they upload it and use the videos, and they use channel as well. Okay. Have a look at your research proposal. Very interesting, yeah? You use international language. I would suggest you to use global language. Nowadays, international language, English, has become global language. Yeah. That's the fast jargon we call international, and nowadays they use global language instead of. Some grammatical, I think, suggestion or corrections, not many, just few. Okay, I would suggest you in here you cite it. There's a citation. In line with blah blah blah, UNTAD et al. I would suggest you in line with the skill. UNTAD in bracket suggests blah blah blah, and the PGBL still on page 1. It's conducted by cooperating and placing. It should be parallel. In here you mention by with cooperation and placing, not parallel. Go on. Page 2. You wrote, students are expected to be able to understand information through and in detail. Do you have any idea how long does it take? The length of vlog. What's the length of vlog? The duration. If I'm not mistaken, maximum 10 minutes for the TikTok, free of charge. But for prepaid TikTok, well, you can have more than 10 minutes. But the TikTok, free TikTok, you have maximum 10 minutes. That's why we call it vlog. Use vlog. Okay, student center. Yeah, PGBL is very applicable, very relevant with the your topic. Because in PGBL, it is based on student center, learner center. And there's a new paradigm. In the past, we had teacher center, and nowadays the emergence of new method, PGBL, the students have learner center, the teaching and learning. Okay, vlogs, using. Go on. Well, you have mixed method. I think it's very comprehensive. Very, you both cover quantitative approach dealing with numerical data and qualitative approach dealing with words or interpretation. So your research study is very interesting and it's comprehensive since you use both approach, quantitative approach and qualitative approach as well. But unfortunately, I noticed you didn't, or you failed to include data analysis of qualitative approach. You just mentioned the instrument of data collection. The main instrument of data collection in qualitative approach, one of the main instruments is in-depth interview. Not interview, in-depth interview. If you just write interview, quantitative approach has interview, structured interview. But in qualitative approach, researchers use open-ended and semi-structured. So the researcher is just like a journalist. or police investigator. And when you interview the subjects or participants, you need to probe or incite or provoke the informants. In this regard, students or whom are you going to interview? Students or do you have any? Yeah, how many students?
3 students.
Yeah, 3 students as informants. Yeah. The informants must meet criteria as informants of qualitative approach in this regard interview. The informants must be knowledgeable and they are trustworthy as well. Knowledgeable means they know much about this topic, and trustworthy means the informant can be trusted. No deception, no lie, no balekos. So tell the truth. Okay. Yeah. How many? Yeah. Anyway, I was impressed. I agree with Ma'am Amina, and it reminded me. Last time I was with the late Mr. Marcus. He used to be a lecturer, and he passed away. Mr. Marcus did his master degree in assessment and evaluation, and when we attended seminar, research program, and he recommended, and we looked at the assessment, the evaluation, he said that 5 is the highest. So that's for native speaker. For students in English-speaking country, what we have inner circle, English as first language, after inner circle, the second circle, English as second language like Singapore, Malaysia, and here English is a foreign language. We are not English-speaking country, so I strongly agree with Ma'am Amina, Prof. Amina, that you need to consider to convert as recommended by the late Mr. Marcus, your rubric, scoring rubric, the assessment, Mr. Marcus, the late Mr. Marcus, Pak Marcus, dia master degree in evaluation, and I was impressed with his recommendation to students to change, to make some change to adapt, make adaptation in terms, because if you use the original scoring rubric, that's not applicable to the non-native speakers or teachers teaching English to speakers of other languages, Indonesian students. Okay, go on. Next, interview, that's what I mentioned. And unfortunately, you fail to include a short section, a brief section on the data analysis of quality. You only included numerical data, what quantitative approach. So include the qualitative approach data analysis, even though it is very brief. How many meetings are you going to have? 6 meetings? Or only 3 meetings? Pretest and posters, 5 meetings altogether.
No, pretest and posters, 2 meetings, and the treatment 3 meetings.
Yeah. Well, as far as I'm concerned, there are 3 types of experimental research: true experimental research, single design, and quasi-experimental research. And you mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned random something or cluster something. Yeah. Random something. I know. I think Amina Profonda, expert in research quantitative approach. Through experimental research only. have random sampling, but it's okay, cluster sampling, yeah, it's acceptable. But other than true experimental research, yeah, let's say cluster sampling only, and not random sampling. Random sampling is only applicable with true experimental research. Okay. Now go on. I didn't see your research schedule. Every researcher, when they do their research project, they rely much on research schedule. How to manage they follow the timeline from the beginning of, let alone you incorporate qualitative approach. Qualitative approach in terms of collecting data and data analysis, it's different. In qualitative approach, we call ongoing data analysis. You analyze the data from the beginning of your research schedule, timeline, until the end. It's different from quantitative approach. You collect the data after experimental research and then analyze the data. But in quantitative approach, you start from the beginning of research project until the end. Obtain data, documentary data, and then analyze, ongoing data analysis. Okay, next. So be sure to include your research schedule. You cannot manage your time if you don't have research schedule. Do you have research schedule?
I have a research schedule on my mind.
Oh my, you are a smart student. Well, anyway, to spend your time effectively on your research project, you researcher rely much on their research schedule. For example, this week I'll have to complete data collection, and then blah blah blah, interview or teaching students, providing distributing tests, etc. So you rely much on your mind. So I would suggest you to prepare your research schedule. Okay. Well, how would you interview the students? You've got interview protocol here, interview guide or interview protocol. Could you tell us about your interview protocol or interview guide? Tell us about that.
In interview, I chose 5 students.
5 students or 3 students? As informants?
Yes, before that I chose 5 students.
You mentioned that you have only 3 informants, as students as informants.
I mentioned that for preliminary.
Or preliminary.
Yes.
You did your preliminary research.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's why Prof. Amina asked you about the preliminary studies. For what?
For other good information about problem in speaking the students.
And you interviewed so two students, 2 informants. And the rest, the other 3 will be interviewed later on.
Later on for interview qualitative data, I have 5 students who using
Snowball.
Yes.
Snowball is used.
For choose the same.
Yeah. Snowball is used in qualitative approach. The researcher use snowball to know or to include or recruit the informants. And you just ask the teacher who is knowledgeable, who is trustworthy for this topic, research topic. And then you use snowball, and then the other teacher or the other student will tell you, oh, the student is very applicable, very small, he is qualified for the interview and to become informer. And that's snowball. So you recruit your informants based on the snowball technique. Yeah? Not something technical. Well, that's it, Prof. Back to you. Yes, Chairperson. Thank you. My pleasure.
As the professor, some of them, and initially as the first reviewer, and Prof. Amina Suyaman and EDPSD as the second reviewer. Thank you so much for attending my presentation today. Then thank you for my classmates for attending my presentation today, and my friends from Hawaii and others who present in my Zoom meeting for presentation for similar presentation today. I will present my senior proposal with the title is The Effectiveness of Project-Based Learning using plot in enhancing students' speaking skills of the 10th grade students of SMA Negeri Model Terpadu Madani. And to begin I'm Sylvia Rahayu with the register number is A1222409, students of English Education Study Program, postgraduate studies program. And to begin my presentation, I will start in first, table of contents, chapter 1, background, problem statement, objective research, scope of research, operational definition of K-terms. Next, chapter 2, there are review of the study, definition of common of speaking, project-based learning, teaching, speaking, and procedure through project-based learning method. Then theoretical framework and hypothesis. In the last one, chapter 3, there are research design, population and sample, instruments of data collection, technique of data collection, and testing hypothesis. Next.
That's what is it?
Morning is broken.
Encouragement. Morning it's make always fresh.
It reminded me song Morning is Broken.
Okay, I'll continue. The first one is chapter 1, background. Speaking skill is person's skill to produce and process information conveyed through interaction between one or more people. With speaking skill, people can connect with a large connection, and then speaking skill is important to us to learn a language. And based on primary research at SMA Negeri Model Terpadu Madani in 10th grade students, it was found that students lack confidence when speaking in front of large groups and afraid of making mistakes than when expressing their opinions. For this reason, speaking skills need to be improved by students through interactive learning method to train their skills. To offer problem, the research chose project-based learning method. This method, PBI, is one of the student-centered learning. The students are active in learning and will contact vision, and at the end, students have a project to present with the others. We move to the problem statement. Here, there are two problems I add in problem statement. First, the PBI method effective in improving students' speaking skills, confidence and self-confidence of 10th grade students at SMA Negeri Model Terpadu Madani. The next one, how do students perceive the implementation of PBI method assisted by plot on the effectiveness of learning speaking skills. In the objective research I add, this research aims to prove whether the PBI method is effective in improving students' speaking skills and confidently, as well as to determine how students perceive the implementation the flow-assisted development method in the effectiveness of learning speaking skills. Here, the scope of research, I focus on components of speaking. There are vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, fluency, and comprehensibility. In the personal definition education, there are effectiveness, project-based learning, flow, and speaking skills. Effectiveness means how well the activities or method to enhance students in learning process. I move to the chapter 2. In chapter 2, I evaluated study in three previous study. First, with 2020, with the title Enhancing Student Speaking Skills Through Project-Based Learning, and 2, Firdaus and Septiadi, 2023, the title The Effect of Project-Based Learning on the Student's Speaking Ability, and last one by Ifwandi and Mulyadi, 2024, with the title Improving English Speaking Skills Through the Project-Based Learning Model. Alright, in definition and components, here I add speaking means an activity used to express oneself in various situations and obtain information for someone through instruction by Febianti et al. 2023. And then component vocabulary means the basic students to learn about one of language. It's important to us when someone have a new more vocabulary, students can speaking fluently. And pronunciation means how students or how people produce language with the intonation, tone to express their ideas. Grammar means the rule of the language. It is important to us, especially in informal students in language, to improve their learning language. And then fluency means how well students speak with the others without interrupted, without any mistake language. Then comprehensibility means how people to understand what they speak and they process the language to express their ideas. Next, we move to the project-based learning. The PBI method is a student-centered approach to develop communication, independent learning, critical thinking, and problem solving, then teamwork by Certified Out 2023. The application of PBI method in improving student speaking skills requires projects that can train student speaking skills. Alright, this is about teaching speaking and procedure through project-based learning method. Teaching speaking is a process to help students improve their communication skills by Marianti, Dani, and Mahaban 2021. Teaching speaking in this research will use the PBI method assisted by flow. Here are the procedure for implementing the PBI method by Asmo et al. 2025. Procedure in implementing PBI method. When using the flow, first question. Here, the researcher stimulates students with in each question. Finish the project and can present the project after making the flow. Next, about learning through video blogs. Here, the researcher add resources and students can add new or add some resources to researcher who monitor students make a project, and student can raise a question to have the answer for finish their project and evaluating result. Evaluating result, students present their project, and the other students can make give a feedback about the presentation with a vlog video. The last one is analyzing the learning experience process. Researcher and students in this stage evaluate about the final project and the learning that has been learning. We move to the theoretical framework. In teaching, the PBI method is applied with group discussion to train them to share ideas and opinions with their peers, and then through discussion, students can share experience, information, answer questions, and draw conclusions. In the last chapter 2, I add hypothesis. In hypothesis, from previous research and the advantages of using the PBI method, the researcher proposed a hypothesis with the use of PBI method assisted by vlog videos can improve the speaking skill of the 10th grade students at SMA Negeri Model Terpadu Madani, and this method received positive feedback on the effectiveness of PBI method using vlog in learning to speak. Here, in chapter 3 about research design. This research will use mixed method to process the data obtained quantitative research with quasi-experimental design. It is conducted with the aim of measuring students' speaking skill before and after using the PBI method, while qualitative research is used to find out students' perception related to the learning experience by applying the PBI method assisted by vlog through documentation and interviews. Next, population and sample. Population in this research is 10th grade students at SMA Negeri Model Terpadu Madani, with divided into 7 students and 7 classes totaling 252 students. The research used cluster sampling technique for 2 classes that randomly selected to represent the experimental and control group. In instrument data collection will be carried out by speaking tasks through initial test, pre-test, and post-test in taking statistical data to measure students' speaking skills. Then observation and interview will be conducted to record and analyze students' involvement in the application of the PBI method. Here, technique of data collection. Pre-test, post-test, observation, interview. Then the result of the pre-test and post-test speaking test will be calculated using the formula by Article 2006. Then about testing hypothesis. The researchers test the hypothesis if the t-count value is greater than the t-table value, meaning that the research hypothesis can be accepted. Conversely,
Okay, thank you for the presentation. And now let's move on to the question and answer session. First, give an opportunity to you students to have to ask questions. Please, any of you would like to ask questions? Please.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the chance. My name is Desi Utami. I'm going to ask about the instrument of data collection. You mentioned that the data instrument will be carried out by speaking test through the initial test. pre-test and the post-test. Okay, my question is, what kind of test that you will do? Is it the directly test the speaking or multiple choice? Yeah, that's my question. Okay, for the initial, yeah.
Alright, thank you. Thank you for the question. I'll answer. For the question, what kind of the test I use in my research, in initial pre-test, pre-test and post-test. In pre-test, I test students directly, give a question, then students can explain their opinions, and then students can give their ideas. So I can see and hear about how well students speak and read the component of speaking. That's all.
Right, thank you. So,
Hmm.
I mean,
This one.
yes,
You go first.
Yeah, Kak.
okay,
You go first.
Okay.
up to you.
Okay, go first.
Yeah, sure.
Right, thank you very much, the chairperson. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
And
wabarakatuh.
good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, I would like to congratulate Cindy Rahayu for coming the first stage of yours, and then I think you are the first in your academic year, yeah,
Yes.
coming focus out
But
seminar. Right, okay, so you try to the effectiveness of project-based learning using plug-in, enhancing students' speaking skill of the 10 student of the Semanagil model terpadu. Sustain. Okay. How do you feel? Nervous? Okay, relax. So this is not this. This is a seminar proposal. So you try to presenting your planning, right? So we try to check your planning. What are you going to do with your research? Right. I would like to start with your introductions. Okay, since we are as a reviewer try to provide you some suggestions. Well, so it seems that some disconnecting your paragraph, yeah. So okay, so you try to open it in general about English as a spoken Indonesian language, and you end very early. You talk about PGPL. Very early in your first paragraph, you have already talked about that. But it doesn't matter if you want to make it specific, yeah. But look at the second paragraph. You ended your first paragraph with interactive method in learning is the PGBL, and then through project, and then that's the topic is about the first paragraph talking about PGBL through project, right? So it should be followed by the next paragraph. You starting with that with the topic. But it seems that you back in general. It's better. It is good if you moving the first paragraph in the second paragraph. The first sentence goes in the first paragraph actually, because you try to talk very early, I guess, here in PGBL and blog, but you open in the second paragraph with learning English as a foreign language. So disconnecting, right? So better starting in the second paragraph by connecting with previous paragraph, introducing PGBL. You introducing because you start talking about PGBL, right? You got it, mine? So I try to put here, and then there's some sentence that repetition. It's a repetitive sentence, like you say, therefore one of the innovative methods. So you say 3 times in the same paragraph. Okay, so try to change. So it seems not really repetitive sentence, but you have that your point is there. You got it what I mean? Right. And then also the most important things when you have your statement, like you say PGBL method with a blog project is innovative and interactive. It seems that this is personal opinion because you didn't support anything that about this. So it should be supported. Who say that? You say that, but there is no data. So that's why supporting this research result that you saw here, one or two research result that show PGBL method with the blog project is innovative and interactive. So okay, so that's the first one. And then coming into the third paragraph, so you ended your second paragraph communicative competence. Yeah, communicative competence, and then directly you go next paragraph with about independent curriculum. So it will be good if you starting your paragraph talking about communicative competence and then connecting with independent curriculum. Okay, right, okay. So link previous paragraph how PGBL method apply to support communicative competence. Okay, so we'll connect once and another paragraph. Okay, and next paragraph. So you directly goes to based on preliminary research SMA Negeri Terpadu. You show that. The negeri SMA Negeri Model Terpadu Madani, you found that students lack confidence in speaking. What is it the proof of that? If you say that, any data about that? So you don't need to talk data, so you have to put here because without data, so I just wonder that. SMA Negeri Model can objection about this because we know model SMA Negeri Model Terpadu is quite high quality, right? So that's why if you say that, so show the evidence or the data, okay? And then so once you say that students lack confidence in speaking and lack of vocabulary, so why is it? Why the students lack of vocabulary? Why the students lack confidence? So you have to put here. So not only saying that lack of confidence, lack of vocabulary. So why is it so? And then what is it the data supporting that? So you starting the problem from there. So that's why you see, because this problem, you come to there to conduct a research, and then because of this problem, you try to introduce PGBL by flock. So try to use flock there. Are you sure? I know very much about there.
Yeah.
How the teacher very active.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I know. For the teacher, they create a video, learning.
So, but vlog is part of in form of a video, right?
Yes.
So that's part of a vlog. Okay, so that's why you need to support your paragraph here or your statement, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So how PGBL improve speaking skill and solve problems, support this statement, this result. Because it seems if you just say that this one effective but there is no evidence or data, so it could be coming from personal opinion. Okay? Okay. So you try to conduct research by using PGBL, applying PGBL. Is it to test its effectiveness or try to prove that PGBL that's working for the students in SMA Madani?
For this digital method, I use in implementing teaching.
So you are going to implement that,
Yes.
and then after that you want to test whether effective or not.
Yes, ma'am. I after first before I give treatment, I give test about pre-test and then
We haven't go there further. Yeah, we haven't go there further because I believe most of teachers have already applied PGBL. Yeah, so this is not something new. Okay, so you have to aware about that. And again, PGBL method will be chosen. That's many times you say that. 3 times in the same pages that will be chosen. The researcher will choose in several findings. Okay, so have a look there, yeah. And also you end your paragraph in page 3 in several findings. You say that the block project is effective. What are they? If you say in several findings, the block project is effective in improving students' speaking skills. Where are they? So show one of them. Yeah? Okay, I highlight there. Okay. Look at your problem statement. Have you done an interview?
yes, ma'am. I interviewed to the SMA in 2 weeks ago.
What is it for?
Yes.
What is it for?
Was for the problem for students.
Okay. Problem statement should be actually your what do you call it? Your synthesize from your introduction. So to to state your research question, you starting with your problem statement of the problem. Statement of the problem, not such kind of this. The researcher interview representative. I think so. You try to show what is it, a statement. Ya, ini merupakan statement permasalahannya ya. And then itulah yang mengantar nanti introduce you to go further to formulate your research question, and not the researcher interview representative. So try to synthesize from your introduction to start your problem statement. Okay? Okay. I would like to go to your chapter 2. You try to see some related study concerning about PGBL. Here. Would be good for you if you try. It seems that you try to compare a related study one with another. So you in related study you just try to show or summarize related study that who have conducted a research relating that PGBL that using flow, and then look at the research design, how they did the research, and then you one of paragraph you try to write down what are you going to do that make it different conduct ya. Jadi perbaiki nanti kalimatnya ya. Okay. Alright. You have also observations. Okay. You get data from observation, and then you provide observation sheet. Who will be observed?
In the
Who will be observed?
students.
The student. Who will observe? The researchers. Do you think what is it for actually?
For describe about the learning process to know the learning process to add information in analysis data qualitative.
So which part of your observations question that supporting your project PBL by using plot? Which one? I see the observation not really supporting the data that you need, because you want to see how the student speaking skill improve through plot. But the observation is not really supporting. If you think you don't need it, you don't need to spend your time, yeah. But if you think you need to conduct observations, so make sure that the statement or question, the data that you need really there, ya. Benar-benar ada to support yours, ya, to support your data for later. Okay. Your teaching outline. So you're teaching only one meeting?
In teaching outline, the material about the contest, the kind of the contest I choose personal account. In this personal account, I add the 2 meeting to design a project, and in the last meeting for presentation and evaluate the final project.
How many times will you be in classroom implementing this?
Is 5
5 meetings, right? But your outline is only for 1 meeting, it seems. So all talking about the context. Why should you limit only the topic to the context? Why you are going to see students speaking through vlog. If you make it limitation, itu akan membatasi anak-anak untuk berbicara, sementara yang Anda mau lihat itu bagaimana dia membuat vlog itu dengan berbicara. I will not limit like context because just let the students speak, creating flow, and then they really speak as long as you try to provided the step, what they should provide in topic, I mean, instead of you limit that the context. So this is my opinion, yeah. Okay, so I mean consult with your supervisor, of course. Okay, so thinking about your teaching outline and also your LPP. Only once meeting, ya. Ini nanti akan membatasi kamu nanti kalau sudah turun penelitian nantinya. Ya, okay. And I go to your speaking test, your pre-test and post-test. You didn't really test the flow. Okay, look. Can you clarify first? Why do you use pre-test instrument? What is it for? What is it? That's instruction or what? Is it instruction or part of the test?
the instruction.
The instruction, but it seems this is a test because you said pre-test instrument. And then longest the pre-test instrument longest than the questions. Okay, so thinking about your test provided, ya. So you are going to, ini kelas berapa ya di SMA? Kelas berapa itu?
1.
Oh, kelas 1 ya. Tapi pengalaman mereka di SMP sudah luar biasa. Okay. So this the speaking test you are going to oral speaking test, right? And then your question is asking about what do you know about recount text? Why should you ask about recount text?
Because students can speak about the material.
Yes?
If you the context about the topic, where I will teach them, then to test speaking, I use the context for the question.
But you really, I just wonder the students can remember what is a recount text. But if you providing question that relating, that you really asking their speaking, you just want to test their speaking, right? Their speaking skill, not testing about their knowledge about recount text. You make the student thinking about what is a recount text. What is it? Descriptive text. So that's my confused. But if you asking question relating that whether their skill to speak by asking many things, not specifying the context will be better, man. Yeah. Okay. Thinking about your question that you provided, both in pre-test and merit, because they have a project, right? And then you test whether the block that they have already, because block in the form of video, right? They try to make a video, whether individual or how many students that you are going to test their speaking? All the students?
Process of full, process control, and experiment.
So are you going to, what is it, test orally one by one?
Yes, just one by one.
Okay, how many times? Consider how many times will you spend for testing them, yeah? Consider about how many times will you spend for interview one, the test, speaking test, and also interview. You have also interview, yeah? And other day you try to spend time to interview them, and the other time you also test their speaking. And then you are going to test one by one. How many times will you spend for that? Okay, thinking about that. And then I'm not sure if you asking the question, what do you understand? What is the difference? What do you know about context? Text? What do you understand about the context of both tests? And then so you are not going to test their knowledge, but you are going to test their speaking through flow. Yeah. Test their project, see their blog, the result of their video that they are making already. They make already, and then whether they really improve their speaking. Because you want to see whether flow can improve their speaking skill. So test them instead of you test what is the context. They will not speak because you make them start a short. What is it? Right? But you asking about their experience or other things, maybe they will speak. Okay? So I think that's from
Thank you very much, President Malone. Congratulations, Cindy, completing your research proposal, and today, this afternoon, you are bringing your proposal into seminar. Okay. Thank you very much for the comments, suggestions from the viewers. Okay. I believe that you have taken notes and take notes and basically consider for the revision of your proposal. I have noticeable points here in my note here. Number one, I think just from the background, the use, the term you used, okay? The curriculum Merdeka, I think it will be appropriate to say as it is, right? It is curriculum Merdeka, or if it is in English, it should be Merdeka curriculum. It's not independent curriculum, right? See, but in your text, you translate it into English, right? It becomes independent curriculum. It should be Merdeka curriculum, right? Right.
Merdeka.
Merdeka. Okay. Now we are now in August, right? In August of Merdeka. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. So that's in. And there's you say somewhere in the background that the objective, okay, will the students will deal with a vlog project as the learning outcome. I think Ramina commented on this as well. Yes, the project may have the product, right? But the main focus is that the students' speaking skill, right? So they are going to deal with video vlog. Okay, they're going to vlog videos, okay, and then they're going to create. They are going to create. So it's not you yourself, the teacher, who is going to create the video, or you provide videos from the existing or available online video vlogs, vlog videos, but the students are going to create, okay, videos, okay, in the project as part of the learning process, right? When they are creating the videos, okay, the process, and then they practice speaking, okay, and you're going to focus on recount, right? Recount text. If we are talking about recount text, it is related to telling experiences, right? One's experiences, right? Is that the focus? Recount text. Yes. Okay. Telling experiences, right? Giving experiences, right? Is it okay? Yeah. So then, okay, the scope, the focus will be, yes, as you mentioned, you stated in context, but yeah, in relation to speaking skill, it will be telling experiences, right? Okay. And then one may ask whose experience or experiences? The student's own experience, okay, or the students may tell somebody else's experiences. The students, okay, the students. It sounds more contextual, right? So it's related to the students' own experiences, and this, okay, this may become one, because the students are going to tell their own experiences, right? Being experienced by themselves, and we expect that by preparing them to speak, and they can tell their own experiences. Okay, right? That's the one of the strengths of your project procedure later on. Okay, right. So that in the background, I think the use of the term Merdeka curriculum, and then the project. Okay, it's not the product is not actually the outcome. But the focus is that the students are going to practice, to learn how to speak by creating, by producing the videos, okay? Right. And with the procedure of the project base, right? project-based learning. Okay, that's in the background. And then the research questions, I think. The research questions, you've got two research questions, right? Number one, is the PGBL method effective in improving student speaking skills? Okay, on fluency and self-confidence. But when we look at the scope of your research, you have vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, fluency, and comprehension, right? Right. So what actually you have here, if you look at the speaking components, we have fluency, yes, okay, the fluency, and then comprehension, it is comprehensibility, right? Comprehensibility. And vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar, this can be included in one of the components, which is the accuracy, right? Right, so you're going to focus on accuracy, okay, in terms of pronunciations and grammar, right? Okay, but in your research questions, you only limit, okay, to fluency, yeah, only. So if I may suggest, I think you may consider, okay, the questions just sounds, is the PGBL method effective in improving the students' speaking skills, okay? Speaking skills, but then there in your scope, and then you may state there, okay, the students' speaking skills, okay, is going to be and comprehensibility, right? Okay, right. Okay, Cindy? Right, so you might think about that.
Yeah.
Number two, okay, so how do students proceed, okay, the implementation of the PGBL? I noted that the reviewers, UNTAD was asking, how will you get the information, the data from this? And you're going to do, question number one, this is question number one, you're going to have the test, right? The speaking test. You have the speaking test, right? But then we're going to look at the test items later. Question number two, you're going to do observations. Observation, you're going to see the students learning participations, activities in the classrooms, right? Okay, so you may not be able to get information about the students' perceptions, okay, about the project base, okay? But then you're going to interview the students, right? You said to Prof. Aminat, you're going to select only three of the students. I think because you're going to get information from the students, how they perceive, okay, about the integration of PGBL, project-based learning, into the learning of speaking skill. I think you may think of if you're going to include how many students in your treatment?
36.
36 students, right? Are they in one classroom?
Yeah. All of students consist of 30 students.
Okay, right. So you have yes. Course line, is it design? Yeah, course line. So that means you have control and experimental, yeah. Control experimental class. But of course, to find out the students' perception, only the students from the experimental, yeah. Only the students from the experimental class that you're going to find to get their perceptions about the integration of PGBL, right? Okay. So then I'm thinking of if you could get more, I think the 36 students, if only 3 students will be interviewed to get their perception, I think, yes, they may think of have more if it's interview. But if you to make it simple, to make it easier, if you could design called questionnaire, I think, right? Questionnaire items, yeah, questionnaire items, yeah, for collecting information about the students' perceptions about the PBI in their learning, right? So then it will, and then if you need additional or confirmation, then you can continue with the interview, right? 3 or 5 students, yeah. But then in the questionnaire, you could the students can the 30 or 35 students can fill out the questionnaire, and then you get what they say, okay, about the PBI in their learning, okay, right. Okay, and then so the scope, so accuracy and visibility, based on that, I will go quickly. The related studies, and then you have the similarities and differences, right? Similarities between the previous studies and your research, your study, and the differences as well. Next, I will go still in chapter 2. I think it will be necessary for you to, it will be advisable for you to include also teaching media here, discussion about teaching, because you're going to use vlog, right? Videos, right? So videos, okay, will become media as well, right? So I think it will be necessary for you to have a discussion about teaching media and vlog videos, the advantages and so forth, right? Okay. And then the teaching procedure on page 15, I think you may include one more there, 1, 2, creating project plan, right? So project plan or the schedule, right? Schedule for doing the project, right? Okay, right. That is the teaching procedure. And one more, I think, because since you are going to include recount text, it is also necessary for you to include here a discussion about the genre-based approach, right? Genre-based approach, especially the recount text, yeah? But you're going to focus on the speaking skills, okay? Right. Okay, Cindy? Are you okay? You may even drink if you like. Yeah. If I'm speaking too fast, let me know. Yeah. And stop me, please. Right. Okay. Recount text. You need to have discussion a bit about recount text. Yeah, genre-based approach, especially the recount text. And probably you might provide examples of the recount text there. And the generic structure, right? Yeah. Same thing. The generic structure of recount text. What is the generic structure? Orientation, yeah. The generic structure of recount text, right? Orientation and then event and reorientation. Okay. Yes, this is the expert of recount text, right? Yeah. We have recount text. I think also
master degree. Research.
Also expert of recount text, yeah? Okay. And the one there from Parigi as well, Sriasuti, yeah? Is also an expert of recount text. Okay. And, okay, I will go quickly, chapter 3, chapter 2, okay. Teaching media blog, yes. Recount text, yes. Teaching, okay, the teaching outlines there. The teaching procedures will be reflected there in the teaching outline as well, right? Of the project base, okay? Yes, I think, thank you, Pak Mukhtar, the research schedule, I think it will be very good suggestion. I think Cindy would, I think she may have provided the schedule that she forgot, forget to include.
So you'll memorize the timeline.
You don't
in her mind.
Your memory, you think that you in your mind, and your research schedule, but you need to include there in the research proposal, right? Okay, and the last one, I think I will go with the the speaking test. Yeah, speaking test. Yes, I share the comments, test the student speaking skill. So, yeah, I think during the consultation we discussed having two parts of the speaking test. Yeah, part A can be kind of interview, right? So asking personal information, okay, right? And then part two, okay, this is the time for the students to speak freely. So you provide asking them to tell experiences, okay, any events that they went through recently, yeah, any place that they visited recently, okay, they could tell their experience, right? Okay, so then you may be able to assess their fluency, okay? If they have the opportunity to speak freely, yeah, in 1 or 2 minutes, for example, 3 minutes, yeah. Yeah, part A interview, you ask questions and the students answer, right? Asking and answering questions, right? But in part B, have the students speak independently, okay? You get it? Okay, good girl, thank you. That's it from me, Prof. My pleasure.
Similar high was okay. We have spent around 2 hours for this.
2 hours.
Would you like to drink? Feel free to drink, please. Okay, so you're okay then. Right, so good afternoon everybody, and for those who are in Morowali, Manui, Parigi, are you all okay?
Okay.
Can you hear me? Oh, I like the love. Spread away in the air.
Yeah.
That's it.
Spring in the air.
Spring in the air.
Love in the air.
Red love. Okay. Thank you. Nice to see you online. Huh? All right. I think you've got a lot of suggestions, and as the purpose of proposal seminar is just to guide you to find out the real or the exact steps that you have to follow in collecting the data or in doing or in conducting your research. So first of all, that we have to understand properly is that the use of flock. I have to make sure that you understand when you say flock, is flock media or other things according to you? That's the most important part. If you think that flock is media, then you have to be able to see how to create block or flock, and then how to combine them with PJBL. So if you can see this in the step-by-step procedures, for example, in your teaching outline, that will be the right guide for you. For example, you say in step 1, in meeting 1, personal recount text, for example. I have to make sure that you understand in the student activities, it must be reflected the step-by-step procedures of PJBL and the involvement of block. Very important. It's very, I think, inspiring. So, if you say to Pak Komar, to Pak Mokhtar, and to Amina about 3 meetings, I will not share the same opinion. I suggest you to have at least the first meeting will be, the first topic will be in 2 meetings, and then the second in 2 meetings, and the third in 2 meetings, so you'll have about 6 all meetings. 6 times attending the class. Are you okay for that? You still strong enough for that?
Yeah, I think so.
If you don't think so, I will say I will help you. That's why we are here for. We are here for you today. Okay? We are here for you today, not them, because they don't ask questions. So only 4 of us are here for you. Oh yeah, I still think yes. Yes.
You raise a question. Yes, you raise a question.
Yes, this is also for you. Not in Islam, no. Okay, is it clear? That's the most important part first. Okay, good. And the third, which is important, is you have to differentiate between teaching recount text for knowledge and for other skills. Okay? You train students by using PJBL based on the use of vlog as medium in order to improve their speaking. Okay? So, what will be the outcome of your teaching? Is it understanding of the context, or the development or the improvement of speaking skills? No, not possible. Because you only examine, you only assess speaking ability, speaking skills. You don't ask them about the context. The student will say, I don't care about that, I do care about my speaking. Because your title is related to the speaking skills. So you always have to go back to the main concern of your research. Is that okay? Right. If you say it is okay, then let's go back to the background. So your questions here, for example, when you talk about is PJBL method effectively improving speaking skills on fluency, will be not accepted, rejected. Ya, pertanyaan ini ditolak. Harusnya bagaimana? Yeah. Okay. So don't worry, just take it easy. We are here for you. Okay. And then the second one is how the student perceive the implementation of the PJBL method, assisted by vlog. Only that's or stop in vlog. We don't need on the effectiveness of learning speaking skills. No, is it effective? They will answer your questions by answering items from the questionnaires from Pakoan. So please write down or design your questionnaire items related to the survey on perception in the usage of PJBL and vlog. Right? If that's okay, then you have to change the scope. So I'm someone who is accepting the backward design. I try to see the end first, and then I go back to find out something that usually important for the final results. Huh? So then you say here, through the PJBL method, there is also investigated blah 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 blah, vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, and so on. I think this is useless. When we talk about speaking skills, when we talk about speaking ability, you talk about how fluent he is, how accurate he expressed his ideas, and so on, and how comprehensible it is. But pay attention, if it is fluent and accurate, it means comprehensible. That's real. And then you have to go back to school. Are year 10 students expected to have them all? Okay, so you have to go back to school teacher there, ask them, when you are in year 10 at SMR, do they have to be fluent, do they have to be comprehensible, do they have to be accurate in speaking? You have to know that first. And that's what you have to write in the real background here. Okay? So your background will bring Prof. Amina, Pak Mauta, Pak Komarudin, and I to the real situation that students experience in SMA Madani. That's the background. Good? Okay? Right. Okay, then my last comment is going to the availability of video blog, blog video. Have you tried to find out some important or related topic to the topic that you are teaching in outline here? if you haven't, then you have to work harder. Yeah? Find out some videos or blog that can be used to help students understand this topic, and then think or bear in mind that you have to create project based on the student's experience, so that we will be contextual as Honorable has said. Right? Is that okay? I think all of them is noted. Yeah, we have noted around the draft and in this paper. Yeah, try to read, try to revise it, and if you cannot read it, come to us to say, your handwriting is very terrible. Yes. So, if you have anything to clarify, to ask, feel free to ask.
And my supervisor and student supervisor, I accept the suggestion, and then I will revise my draft to do my research.
When you talk, you have to end up your talking.